Previously with Maponyane. We spoke about interviewing sports stars like Gary Player and the amazing David Beckham, why we gravitate towards certain sports brands and not others, and if playing golf with your girlfriend or your wife is a good idea. In the final part of the interview, we talk about making it as a nice guy, how choice is the most important thing you can ever have, and certain things you just have to do to get ahead career-wise. Like anyone can talk cuck. Like every morning I talk cuck for a couple of hours with Gareth.
Yeah.
And it's actually not difficult because it's just you being you.
Yeah.
When you stand there and you got to be framed in this thing with a microphone, it is so hard.
Ben, I'm on set almost every day. Like I'll get on set at like 5 a.m. Got like 20 links to go through, all moves along, and you need to be able to retain that in your head, do the link, then do the next thing, but each time you're discarding what you just learned and you have to learn the next thing and like start afresh. And to keep that frame of mind each time is not easy at all.
Whole new respect people who do this on TV, but obviously with acting as well, you quite au fait with learning things and obviously getting into it. Like, is that something you want to do more of? Is it quite difficult?
Yeah, I've got my own issues with that. Like, it's something I really want to do more of, but
It's almost like a time thing.
No, I'm really hoping for an awesome part that makes sense for me. It's going to sound so silly, but there's a certain role that I've played a few times that I keep getting asked to play for different things, and I don't want to have myself typecast. So I've actually stepped away from it until the right thing comes around, or until I write that right thing, if that makes sense.
See, but when you really mature into like a fully older man, you'll have a lot more range and scope for that kind of stuff.
You're actually probably right.
Because right now, you're like this guy everybody wants to either like... All the mothers want you for their daughters. All the daughters kind of want you for every day. And I think you do fit into that at the moment. I hate to break this to you.
Look, I mean, because you just don't want to be in that trap, you know? Especially when there's already that sort of perception. And when, I mean, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, I am like tech and entrepreneurship, all of that is my thing. And I grew into myself after school. I was an awkward kid in school. I've had the same size head since I was like 1 year old. And I never got any attention.
Mine's still growing. So awkward.
And like to now be this person is kind of weird, you know. But yeah, use every opportunity, make the most of it, and have fun. I'm freaking lucky to get to do what I do, live the life that I do, and have choice, dude. Like the reason I work like I do, and the reason I'm always like putting myself under pressure is because I'm in search of what I define as freedom, which is choice. And lots of people don't have choice. You know, we say we're free, but like people don't have choice. Like if you're living below the bread line, you don't have choice over whether or not you want to eat. You can't freaking eat because you don't have access to, you know, whatever it is. Like we make jokes about Black Friday, for example, about how people just all rushed in and were pushing against each other. Dude, the most popular item sold was toilet paper. People are trying to stock up on that because they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like if there's a little bit of money they can save, they don't have a choice. For when I eat at a nice restaurant, I have a really nice car, for example, it's not about for me ever being flashy or anything. It's about having the choice of, today I actually just really want to drive slow and enjoy my drive, or if I need to, I've got the choice of driving really fast, you know, stuff like that. Like you work hard so that you can have choice. You work hard so that there's this happening in the world. I've got the choice because of the work I've put in, and I can go and do that. But also, I'm lucky to have gotten to this point. Of course, I don't want to negate how much work I've put in, but like lots of people don't have that choice. And if you and I want to go to Cape Town right now, we could, because we've got the choice. And that to me is like freedom, and that's what you work towards. That word is an umbrella that covers so much, because people, obviously success is relative to everyone else. I know my number one goal in life is to be the best father and husband to my future children, and be a great husband to the woman of my children. And like that's my number one goal. But I get asked, you know, what is success to you? And you know, the more and more I've thought about it over time, it's not about coming out with some like ridiculous, really deep answer. It's like it's a choice. Like choice is success.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like I can be happy if I want to be happy. I can be a slave to the system if I want to be a slave to the system, or I don't have to. I can do whatever I want. I can move however I want. I can go wherever I want. I can exist wherever I want. But if I want to work in the corporate world non-stop and do nothing else, I can too. So success, I think when you get to a point of choice, is that for me. So there's one thing I always had an issue with growing up, and this is one of my greatest life lessons, and this is how I approach every single thing I do in life, especially when you're trying to get out of the shadow of someone who was previously something in your family. I always used to, argue with my parents growing up, saying, I'd always hear people saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I always had an issue with that. Like, I'd debate that as a kid and I'd say to my parents, but that's not fair. What about the people who really know stuff and are really good at stuff? Why they're not getting chosen on merit? I mean, I don't think I use the word as merit as I said it.
Like deserving.
But yeah, but they don't deserve it, so why are they not getting it? My parents are like, you know what, you're being naive, but that's how the world works. You'll realize soon enough. So, and I came to the resolution point, which was, if you're really passionate about what you're doing and you're willing to work hard, put in the hours, and you have got what it takes, then you end up changing that whole notion of it's not what you know, it's who you know, to if you have those things, you become the person that the who you know wants to know because they can't ignore you because you're so damn good at what you do. If you just know, if you're willing to just sit down and graft at what you're doing and put out the work non-stop, and you know that you're putting in that work and you know that you're good at what you do, then eventually someone, they can't ignore you. People ask me what can I attribute as one of the biggest contributors to my success. First of all, consistency through punctuality. So whenever a client asks me to do anything, they know I'm always going to be on time.
Amazed at how rare that is.
Dude,
to see that.
It is so rare.
Yeah.
Punctuality, reliability. So when they get you for something, they know that you're always going to deliver.
Yeah.
And then third, no matter what environment I'm in, no matter if it's a corporate, on set, in a place where I am regarded as something big or whatever it is, I always make it completely easy and comfortable and fun for everyone. Like, they can just relax. Like, you must always create an enjoyable environment. And as a result, that one contributor, beg your pardon, I'm struggling to talk. That one contributor ends up being, for me, word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's what I'm saying to you about if you have all those things and you are that person in your mind, then people can't ignore you. And word of mouth in a big way has gotten me to where I am, because people are like, oh my gosh, you worked with one of our clients, they loved working with you, we'd love to do this with you, and they're cool. And then I'm going to do the same thing with you, deliver, you're going to freaking love me, and we're going to love being around each other, and I'm never going to forget who you are, what your contribution has been to my life, what your name is, and you'll want to keep using me, and you'll go tell someone else. Like, if you have people good things, if you give people good things to say about you all the time, then you'll always have that word of mouth and people who are willing to back you in whatever it is that you dream of or want to do.
But it's the beauty and the simplicity of it, because you
got there eventually. Sorry.
But you can sustain that. It's not like you're trying to be something that may have a lifespan of 2-3 years.
Yeah.
It's like everything you just said now is so sustainable.
Yeah.
And it's something that's I'm going to be like that today, I'm going to work on that tomorrow.
People don't believe that. Like, how many people think?
Because they always believe they're going to be special, extra something huge.
From day one when I started in the industry, people were like, dude, I hate to break it to you, but you're never going to make it being nice. And I was like, I think I might want to challenge you on that. Like, that was my thing where I just really want to make it being nice. And that whatever I do, if it doesn't work out with someone where the energy is not right, because I also work like that, energies, relationships and everything, if I can see you're kind of a semi-shitty human being, I'm not going to work with you.
Yeah.
That stuff rubs off, and that association rubs off.
But it takes quite a bit of integrity and just balls really to actually have that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, well, I need the work, or this will be good for me, this is a stepping stone, whatever.
Yeah.
But then if you do 3 or 4 of those, suddenly your goal's here and you're like, here.
Exactly.
And you can be derailed.
Yeah.
This is become a TED Talk.
Anyway, thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure my phone's run out of
we have these chats ourselves anyway, so let's leave it at that. Thank you very much.
All right, that wraps up for the first installment of Bounce Chats, Bounce Talks, Bounce Conversations. Haven't quite settled on a name just yet, so any suggestions, I'll be most appreciative. Big thanks to Maps, really, really great chatting to him as always. A guy you can really learn from, and he's still so young. He's doing so many great things already, because he's a guy who really backs himself and he just wants to keep learning. Super smart, super switched on guy. I really hope you enjoyed that, and I really hope you join me for the next conversation, which will be, I don't know, got to decide, but it's coming soon, I promise.